When we're looking at whether a function is increasing or decreasing, we're really thinking about the slope. So in a polynomial function, the slope is not constant like in a line, but we can still tell at any given point whether the slope is positive or negative. For example, if I chose this point right here, I can see that the slope is positive. It is going up and to the right along this section of the graph. So let's start by identifying the sections of this graph that do appear to have a positive slope. So this section definitely does, and where the change happens between increasing and decreasing will be minimums or maximums. So from this minimum here at -5, -1, that's where a change happens in the slope or in whether it's increasing or decreasing. So I can see that to the right of this point, my function is increasing all the way up until this relative maximum at -1,4. So along this interval, we have an increasing part of our function. So it's increasing from, and I'm interested in the x values when I'm talking about the interval over which it's increasing. So it's increasing from -5, so I'll put -5 is less than x up until -1. So from -5 to -1, or I would read this as -5 is less than x is less than -1. But that is not the only place where my function is increasing. So at this turning point, or this relative max, it then starts going down, so decreasing until this relative minimum. Then it switches again and we can see there's a positive slope here. So it's increasing over that part of the graph. So there's another increasing interval starting at this x value of 1. So from 1 until my arrow. That arrow represents infinity. So when 1 is less than x is less than infinity, I have an increasing portion of my graph. So the remaining portions should be decreasing. So let's start over here. I'll write this here. So my decreasing. So first of all, over here, starting at this arrow, which represents negative infinity, I can see that this is a negative slope. It is going down and to the right, all the way to my x value of -5. So I always write my intervals from left to right. So I'm starting at negative infinity is less than x is less than -5. That is one decreasing interval. And then I have this decreasing interval here as well. I can see that there's a negative slope all along this section. So that's from -1 to +1.